My dear brothers and sisters, peace and blessings be upon you. Today I want to speak about something very simple yet so powerful. Something that affects not only our hearts but also the hearts of those around us. It is about the way we speak, about the way we treat each other with our words. You see, sometimes in the business of life, in the pressures of work, or even within our own homes, we raise our voices without even thinking. And yet, the Prophet reminds us that our words are a trust, a reflection of the state of our hearts. Just one harsh word can wound deeply, while a gentle word can soften the hardest of hearts. Imagine for a moment a world where we pause before we yell, where we choose patience instead of anger, where we strive to understand before we react. My brothers and sisters, controlling our voice is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of great strength, of inner peace, and of a heart that seeks harmony over harm. When we talk about empathy over anger, my dear brothers and sisters, we are really speaking about the heart, about the way we see and understand the world around us. Often when someone frustrates us or makes a mistake, our first reaction is to raise our voice, to respond with sharpness or impatience. But in those moments, if we pause and reflect, we can remind ourselves that every person carries a story, a struggle, or a burden that we may not see. Just as we hope others will show mercy and understanding towards us, we are called to extend the same toward those around us. When we choose empathy, we are choosing to see beyond the immediate irritation, to look deeper into the human being in front of us. Empathy does not mean ignoring mistakes or condoning wrongdoing. It means recognizing that anger often clouds our judgment and escalates situations unnecessarily. It means slowing down our response, asking ourselves why the person acted as they did, and what might be going on in their life that we are unaware of. When we respond with patience and understanding instead of yelling, we create space for dialogue, for learning, and for healing. Our words become tools of guidance rather than weapons of harm. Consider the ripple effect of a gentle response. When we speak calmly to someone who has angered us, we not only preserve our own inner peace, but we also give the other person an opportunity to reflect and correct themselves without fear or resentment. On the other hand, when we respond with yelling, frustration, or harshness, we often push the other person away, harden their heart, and damage the bond that might otherwise grow stronger with compassion. Empathy opens doors that anger only closes. Moreover, choosing empathy over anger is a reflection of our own spiritual and emotional strength. It takes courage to restrain our immediate impulses, to soften our tone when every instinct urges us to shout, and to respond with understanding in the face of provocation. But this is the kind of strength that builds character, nurtures relationships, and brings harmony into our communities. In every interaction, we have a choice. We can let anger guide us, or we can let empathy lead us. By pausing, by reflecting, and by trying to understand the feelings and circumstances of others, we cultivate a heart that is patient, forgiving, and wise, and we become an example of the gentle power that words, when guided by understanding, can have. Words are among the most powerful tools that Allah has placed in our hands, my dear brothers and sisters. Every time we speak, we have the opportunity to build or to break, to heal or to hurt, to inspire or to discourage. Yet, how often do we pause and truly consider the weight of the words that leave our mouths? A single careless remark spoken in anger or frustration can wound a soul deeply, sometimes in ways that cannot easily be mended. And at the same time, a kind word, a gentle tone, or a sincere expression of encouragement can transform a person's day, lift their spirit, and even change the course of their life. Words are not merely sounds, they are vessels of intention and reflection of our hearts. The Prophet reminded us that words are a reflection of the heart's condition. When our hearts are filled with patience, mercy, and love, our words naturally carry that beauty. When our hearts are restless, frustrated, or bitter, our words can wound without our realizing it. This is why it is so important to choose our words carefully and to remember that every conversation is an opportunity to practice kindness, to guide gently, and to leave others with a sense of peace rather than pain. Words are not temporary, they linger in hearts and minds long after they are spoken, shaping relationships and leaving lasting impressions. Think for a moment about how a gentle word spoken at the right time can change a difficult situation. A simple phrase of understanding, a calm explanation, or even a quiet listening ear can calm tempers, restore harmony, and bring clarity where confusion once reigned. Conversely, when we yell, criticize harshly, or speak without reflection, we amplify conflict and create distance between ourselves and others. The power of our words extends beyond the moment. It affects our families, our friendships, and our communities. Being mindful of what we say is not just a matter of etiquette. It is a reflection of our character and our faith. To control our tongue, to speak with care and intention, is to demonstrate a heart that values respect, understanding, and love over pride, impatience, or anger. It is a discipline that requires awareness and practice, yet the rewards are immeasurable. In every interaction, whether with a loved one, a colleague, or even a stranger, we have the choice to let our words be agents of healing, encouragement, and compassion. Inner peace is a treasure that often goes unnoticed in the chaos of our daily lives. My dear brothers and sisters, we move from task to task, responsibility to responsibility, often allowing our emotions to dictate our actions rather than our reason or faith. Anger and frustration can feel immediate and powerful, but they are fleeting. The calmness of a composed heart, on the other hand, is enduring and it is reflected in the way we treat others. When we raise our voices or lash out in irritation, we are not only disturbing those around us, but we are also disrupting our own sense of peace. Controlling one's speech, particularly in challenging moments, is a reflection of a mind and heart that are at ease with themselves and with the world around them. When we take time to cultivate inner peace, we find that the need to yell diminishes. It is not about suppressing emotions or pretending to be calm while feeling turmoil inside. Rather, it is about understanding that our reactions have consequences and choosing responses that align with patience and wisdom. A heart that is anchored in tranquility is less likely to be shaken by minor irritations or misunderstandings. It learns to respond thoughtfully instead of reacting impulsively. In this way, inner peace becomes a shield, allowing us to navigate difficult conversations and tense situations with grace and dignity. Furthermore, inner peace allows us to listen more deeply and to connect more meaningfully with those around us. When our minds are cluttered with anger or impatience, we hear only fragments of what others are saying, often missing the message behind their words. But when we cultivate calmness within, we can listen with empathy, understand intentions clearly, and respond in ways that are constructive rather than destructive. This ability to pause, reflect, and then speak is a sign of maturity and self-discipline, and it nurtures harmony in both personal and communal relationships. Choosing inner peace also reflects a recognition of a greater purpose beyond our immediate emotions. It is an acknowledgement that every interaction is an opportunity to exercise compassion, patience, and understanding. The moments when we could have yelled but chose calmness instead are the moments that define our character and shape our relationships. A peaceful heart speaks gently even in the face of provocation, demonstrating that true strength lies not in volume or force, but in the ability to remain steady, kind, and measured regardless of circumstances. Patience is often misunderstood, my dear brothers and sisters. Many think of it as passivity, as waiting silently without action, or even as weakness. But in reality, patience is one of the greatest signs of strength a person can possess. It is the power to restrain oneself, to pause before reacting, and to respond thoughtfully rather than impulsively. When we feel anger rising, when someone frustrates us or challenges our limits, the decision to remain calm, to control our tone, and to respond with understanding is a true demonstration of inner power. Yelling or losing our temper might seem like a momentary release, but it is the patient heart that builds enduring relationships and earns lasting respect. Patience requires awareness and effort. It is not automatic. It is a conscious choice made in the heat of the moment. When we practice patience, we remind ourselves that every individual has their struggles and that every situation has its own lessons. By holding back the urge to shout, by speaking kindly instead of harshly, we create space for understanding and reconciliation. Patience allows us to see beyond the immediate irritation, beyond the words or actions that may trigger us, and to consider the long-term impact of our responses. It transforms conflicts into opportunities for growth, for both ourselves and for those we interact with. Moreover, patience is deeply tied to humility. It reminds us that we are not the center of the world, that our perspective is limited, and that others are navigating their own challenges just as we are. It teaches us empathy and softens our hearts, allowing us to respond with wisdom rather than emotion. In practicing patience, we cultivate self-control, a quality that strengthens our character and shapes the way others perceive us. People are drawn to calm and measured responses, to those who can remain composed under pressure, because it reflects a deep sense of integrity and understanding. Patience also nurtures resilience. Life is full of moments that test our temper and our resolve, but each time we choose patience, we are building the capacity to face future challenges with grace. It is in these small, deliberate acts of restraint that we develop the discipline to maintain harmony, to guide others gently, and to avoid the harm that comes from unbridled anger. Through patience, we demonstrate that true strength is not loud or forceful. It is quiet, steadfast, and rooted in the ability to act with intention rather than impulse. The beauty of choosing calmness over anger and embracing patience, empathy, and thoughtful speech lies in the fact that it is a habit we can cultivate every single day. My dear brothers and sisters, just as the body grows stronger through regular exercise, the heart and mind grow in wisdom and composure through consistent practice. It is not enough to act gently only when we feel particularly calm or patient. True strength emerges when we train ourselves to respond with kindness even in moments of stress, fatigue, or irritation. Each day presents countless opportunities to practice, at home, at work, in traffic, or in the marketplace. Every interaction, no matter how small, is a chance to exercise control over our tone, to choose empathy over frustration, and to let patience guide our words. Daily practice also builds awareness. When we make a conscious effort to monitor how we speak and respond, we begin to notice patterns in our behavior. We become more attuned to the triggers that make us raise our voice, and we learn to intervene before anger escalates. This awareness is powerful because it allows us to act intentionally rather than react impulsively. Over time, what once required effort and mindfulness becomes second nature. Speaking calmly, listening patiently, and responding with understanding becomes not just a choice, but a reflection of our character and values. Furthermore, practicing gentle speech and calm behavior daily strengthens relationships in ways that words alone cannot describe. Families, friends, colleagues, and even strangers are affected by the tone we set. When our words are consistently kind, our presence becomes a source of comfort and trust. Others learn to approach us without fear of harshness, and conflicts are resolved with greater ease and understanding. In contrast, the habit of yelling or reacting harshly even occasionally can erode trust and create tension that lingers far longer than we realize. Daily practice also cultivates humility and patience within ourselves. We learn that perfection is not the goal, but progress is. Some days will challenge us, some moments will test our patience, and occasionally we may slip into anger. Yet, the commitment to keep practicing, to keep returning to gentle speech and understanding is what builds a heart that is resilient, compassionate, and disciplined. Through repetition, mindfulness, and reflection, we gradually transform not only the way we communicate but also the quality of our inner life, making each day an opportunity to embody the values we hold dear.